Yo, what's up, guys? It's comfy stream time. So I got the MVSX. I've got doing multiple new things at once. So we got the MVSX. We'll hope everything works right with that. Using new streaming software with StreamYard. So if you can't hear me, let me know. Yeah, anyway, a lot of you have asked some really good questions already, and I want to get to all of it. And I want to turn this thing on. I actually turned it on accident for the first time myself, but I didn't look at it. I don't want to spoil the surprise. So I haven't watched any of the reviews. I want to be surprised myself. I've read about the reviews, so I know what a lot of the comments are. And I've talked to the company quite a bit. So I have quite a few thoughts to share with you guys, but let's turn this thing on. Right away, like I saw from the photos, I don't know how well the camera's picking this up, but man, the marquee here looks nice. Okay, cool. I see someone in the chat says they can hear me. I don't stream that often, so when I do, I get paranoid that I'm sitting here talking to myself and you can't hear me. The monitor looks good. Now, I know there's some controversy with the size of the monitor, and I can tell you right now from looking at it in person versus on through my camera, it looks better in person. And I also want to tell you guys, I'm going to do a full review after I've spent a few days with this. This is not a review, so I've not messed with this at all. It's brand new. I just took it out of the packaging. So I'm not going to feel comfortable giving you guys a full review right now, but I am going to do that. Just give me a few days. So right now is about one, being comfy because it's evening time. Two, taking your questions, getting you all the info as if you were here, because you guys want info ultimately so you can decide, should I buy this or not? Or maybe you're just curious, but a lot of you are trying to decide if you want to buy it. And so I view it as my job to get you as much of that as I can. Now, as is noted in the chat earlier, I can't open it up. And the reason for that, I guess, is they're worried about people seeing some stuff and copying it. So it makes you wonder if there's a proprietary chip here. A lot of these companies use the same system on a chip. Maybe this uses something different. I don't really know. All right, so this is on. Let's take a look. First off, I do want to talk about build quality. And one of the questions I saw earlier on my community post was, let's see if I move this up a little bit. How does the build quality compare to arcade one-up? And I think that's a good benchmark because a lot of us have arcade one-ups in our house. I'm not messed with the sticks or buttons yet. I have kind of felt the cabinet a little bit, felt the faux coin door. I mean, you can see from here, we've got the little, well, actually you can't see it. Let me turn it. I don't know if you can pick that up. You probably saw from the photos. We got plugs here on the screw holes. It's something you don't get with arcade one-up. It's something you don't get with that games. My view right off the bat, just unboxing this, is it's a higher quality. The wood might be the same. I don't know. It feels heavier to me. I think it's almost 50 pounds. I haven't put this on a scale, but the box it came in was around 50. And there wasn't anything else in the box, and that's without a pedestal. It's pretty substantial. A full-size arcade one-up with riser is about 70 pounds. So I would say this is heavier, therefore probably a little better build quality. Definitely better quality monitor, as we know. I would say better quality marquee, and arcade one-up is something I've complimented them on before, their light up marquees. This marquee looks great. And I got to tell you, my camera is not doing this marquee justice. It looks a little washed out in the center right now on my screen. Not here in real life. It's smooth as possible. So I got a question from Zohar. How are those speakers? Yeah, man, we're going to get into that because I'm curious about that too. And we'll see what the quality is. I'm going to guess there's not a lot of bass, but we'll see. I will say one thing I was a little disappointed by off the jump. It's a two-edged sword. It's this guy right here. And in my review, I'll get lots of close-up footage of this. It's a little faux coin door. And originally, this was going to be a decal. So the original plan was this was a decal. And if you bought the pedestal under it, you could peel that decal off. You can't do that here. This is actually a physical structural piece. It's plastic. It's molded plastic. It looks good and it feels good. That's why I say two-edged sword. If you're just going to buy this as a bar top, then the little mini faux coin door is dope. If your plan is to put this on the pedestal, then it's redundant and it's kind of weird that you got multiple coin doors. When it was just going to be a sticker, and this was something I reported to you guys, the company told me this previously, I was going to peel that sticker off. They had to scrap that plan simply because they couldn't get the adhesive to stay on permanently. It would just kind of slide off. All right, so with all that out of the way, Man, let's take a look. So I've read some conspiracy theories about what these, I don't know how well you can see them on screen, these little LED readouts. I can tell you every time I move to a new game within one collection, I'm looking at the King of Fighters collection, this number goes up. So it's not random. So the left counter, which it should be telling me how many credits I have, that's not what it's telling me. Yeah. What do you have it sitting on? Yeah, this is just a stool, man. So like I don't have a bar at home that I can set this on. All my arcades are on risers or stand-up format. So you're right. This is a little wobbly. Clearly, when I get this for real, it's going to have a pedestal on it. They haven't manufactured the pedestals yet. But anyway, so these LED readouts are changing to tell me which game I'm on. The right LED is changing based on which collection I'm in. So this left readout tells me which game within a collection. And, oh, is that true? No, the right LED didn't change from Metal Slug to Samurai Showdown. So I don't know. I have seen that change, but I don't know if it's random. The left one tells me. So whatever. My feedback I gave to the company on this was obviously we want this to reflect, we want these LED readouts to reflect what credit we have. That's not something they could change before this went to production, but they're aware of the feedback. They've heard it from you guys, and it's something they want to consider changing, but it's a little too late in the game for it. I'll tell you, these guys, though, so far are really crystal clear on receiving feedback and listening to all of us. Because when I talked to them, I went through all the feedback I had that I heard from you guys, and it was just, they've heard everything. They're on top of it. I think anything they can fix with software, they want to. Yeah, someone asked me how I got this. So this was shipped in from China. They've got 2 review units out in circulation. So I don't know where the other one is right now, but it's somewhere. But all right, let me see if I can play one of these games. So right off the bat, the volume knob, when I turn it, I don't know how well you can see that. I don't normally live stream in here like this. So this volume knob, it doesn't have any kind of digital display, but it does have a volume indicator. So it doesn't just spin freely. It would go all the way to the right to go to 100, all the way to the left to mute. But there's no kind of on-screen confirmation about what audio I'm at. Now I hit the select button, damn it, didn't do anything. Huh. Well, I don't know what select game does. Maybe we'll figure that out later. Man, it's going to be tough to get a good angle because this damn cabinet is too short. Oh, well, you guys don't need to see me. I'll just put it on the game.
Super grenade.
That's the volume at max. I'll tell you right now, it doesn't sound bad. There's no noticeable distortion. It does lack bass. So this is not like the old Neo Geo cabinet of yore, which had hella bass. I don't know how well my mic's picking that up, but it really isn't bad. I heard it was described as tinny. I don't know if I'd say that, but I think what he was trying to communicate was it lacks bass, which is true. Turn around here and get another shot. The interface is a little confusing. I hit select game to put in a credit. Should I figure to be left player start? I don't know. I'm not real familiar with the original MVS hardware. Maybe that's how it works. Who knows?
Mission 1, start.
So if you have any questions. And I'll get to some of these questions in a minute. I just want to show a little bit of gameplay. I gotta tell you, I like how the buttons feel. Saw a tiny bit of slowdown when there was a lot going on screen. Maybe not, though. I don't know. I'd have to play this a few times and really get comfortable with how I think about how responsive it is. All right, so let's see how to get back. All right, hit the options back. All right, so this is the interface for settings. I hit the options button to get here. All right, and so this does have the update. So when they shipped me this, they actually weren't 100% sure would have the update. Interestingly, violence, which is what you want turned on if you want the blood, is set to off by default. What I don't know, and I'll find this out for the review, is do I have to go back and hit these settings for every single ROM? And that I can't tell you. So I just hit it, and it seems like it rebooted the game, which makes me think I'm going to have to do it for each game. But I don't know that for sure. You can remap the buttons. I think you guys already knew that, but there's that. We'll get into this stuff later on an actual review. All right, so let's see what questions you guys have. Yeah, sorry, Mike was blocking the view. My screen isn't really in an ideal place. If you guys had some key questions, you might want to ask them again. How many games are in the collection you're on? It shows how many games. Okay, so I'll have to confirm that, but Neo Vera is telling me that the right LED indicator shows you how many games. It's interesting that they chose to use those LED indicators. I mean, they are programmed to respond, but they're not responding to how many credits you have, which I think is a little bit weird. For the individual game dip settings. So that's my question. I don't know if these settings are individual or not, but I mean, there aren't a lot of settings. It's really just a violence on or off. So it's not like the full BIOS that we're getting access to and we can change anything we want. Is blood mode on? Yes. That's definitely sweat, not blood. So yeah, Brad, I didn't have violence on when I was playing. Yeah, that's a good question. So with violence mode on, can you select arcade or console mode? Let's take a look at that. And as I said, I haven't watched the review. I don't actually know offhand how to change from the MVS to AES. Let's see. Okay, so game mode. I think you guys are aware this has a USB port on the back. It sounds like from talking to the company, they do plan to pretty aggressively update it. And I don't have anything official to announce about adding more games, but it seems like it's a hope, it's a goal. We'll see if that comes to fruition. All right, so I'm in AES mode. Let's see if we get some blood going.
Mission 1, start.
It's green blood. Does that count? Let's get some people. I think that's the blood effect, though. Yeah, picks the game with it. Yeah, man, I don't know the Neo Geo lineup super well. I played the version of Metal Slug for Neo Geo Pocket Color, which is its own game. And I've played the various ones over the years, but I don't really remember them. It is super hot in here too. Turn the air on. Give me a sec.
Mission 1, start.
I'm not seeing blood. Maybe it is per game. No, so I don't see the violence setting. So that must just be. So I guess to answer your question, that's only for the arcade version. Zohar, your question is, can you hack a system and add a bunch of games? So nobody knows that yet. We'll see. But like I said, I think the goal is to get more games available to us officially, but we'll have to see about that. What do I think about the quality of the sticks and buttons? Yeah, I want to spend more time with it. I'll tell you, man, it feels good so far. So if you guys have the Fight Stick Pro, the Neo Geo Fight Stick Pro, which I don't have, it is, I'm told, the same quality as this. So if you have that, then there it is. Everybody's got their own opinion for what kind of feel that they like. The stick feels like, to me, it's got a 1 pound resistance spring on it, which is pretty standard. I like a little heavier spring myself, but that's easy to change. The buttons feel great. The stick feels good. I would probably just at first blush equivocate this to the AtGames Legends control quality, very much above what I've played in most of the arcade one-ups. I mean, I know they have the Marvel Limited, which had Sanwa, but if you take that one aside and you just compare this to like Burger Time or something, this feels a lot nicer. And that's what I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. The overall build quality, the look of the marquee, the quality of the monitor is very good. Now, there's some controversy, right, with the monitor refresh rate being 60 hertz. They know that feedback. I think if they can get us a software fix, I think they're going to, but there's nothing official to announce there. It's not something I would notice, so I can't detect a 1 frame per second drop. I don't know if it's dropping that frame, duplicating it, or whatever. But the other issue then is it's a 5x4 monitor, I guess, not a 4x3, but I'm being told 4x3 monitors are really hard or impossible to source. Yeah, somebody in the chat said probably a 2 pound spring. It could be, 1 pound, 2 pound. I can't really tell much of a difference till I start getting into the 4 pounds and 6 pounds, which is what I like. Yeah, tracked mode. That's a good point. So let's see if first off, let's get out of this. I didn't see anything about a tracked mode in the settings. This almost feels like more of a console than an arcade, like just in terms of the way the menu's designed, the way everything looks. I wonder if there even isn't a track mode, or maybe you have to start a game, launch a game, and then you get into a track mode. Let's see. I mean, I'd have to sit here for a few minutes and see, but I'm going to guess it's not going to pop into track mode. But if I pull up a game, let's do that. I'm assuming I'll get the attract screen for that game if I just leave it alone. I always love that boot screen, by the way. It's dope. All right, so there's your attract. So I think you have to boot a game. I mean, to test this, which I will test with a review, what happens if I leave it in that system menu for a long time? No, I almost fell forward. What happens there? And I don't know. I'll have to find out in my review. Am I hot? Yeah, man, it is super hot in here. I have no AC running. I thought I'd turn it off to get it quieter, but that was stupid. Ralph, thanks, man. Does have a track mode when you select a game, but not. Yeah, that's kind of what I assumed. So right now we're looking at an attract mode for Samurai Showdown. And I mean, that's the legit attract mode, so that looks good. Are there any bass? No, man, there really aren't any bass. We do get stereo speakers, unless one of these is non-functional, but I'm sure they're both functional. They sound fine to me, but there's absolutely no bass. AC for UC, that's right. Yeah, thanks, Ralph, man. I'm glad I got it too. I need it on a pedestal. I'm sitting here on this goofy stool. All right, so I'm gonna pull up I'm going to pull up some of the questions people asked earlier too in the community post. Let's see what's up with that. And I'm going to turn this goddamn AC on. Yeah, I'm pumping it, baby boy. Don't worry about that. We've got AC for days. All right, so where is that post? All right, so Rick asked, what's the sound quality like in comparison to the Legends and the arcade one up? Yeah, for a comparison, you're gonna have to wait for the full review on that. I can't tell you that just yet. As I said earlier, sound quality is not bad. It's not great either. And there's definitely no bass. Next question was a good one. Do the logos on the side look like they're printed all over, or is it just one sticker or vinyl? So the coloring, let's take a look at the side of this. Yeah, I can't actually tell if that's painted. It is definitely all one piece. If it is an adhesive, it's very well laid out. The logos on the side are part, though, of this entire, like, I assume it's a vinyl wrap, but maybe it's just painted directly on it. I can't quite tell. But it definitely is all one thing. Like, you couldn't peel off, for example. I gotta be real careful this bad boy doesn't fall forward. You can't take off that Unico logo. And I complimented earlier the design of the cabinet, and it looks gorgeous. I really am excited to see the pedestal, to see the complete look. I don't like how big this Unico label is, but because they stuck with the white and red, it's not bad, but it's maybe not what I would have picked. This control panel, though, with the plastic on top of it, really does stand out as nice. There was a question about do the high scores save after switching off, so I'll have to check that when I do the full review. We will see. All right, what else? All right, so there was a question about how much room is there to rest your hands, and I mean that is a valid concern. This isn't that wide. I think we found out it was 19 inches wide. And I'll compare this to the hand space you get with different arcade 1-ups. If you guys have a lot of arcade 1-ups, the hand space you have for 2-player cabinets varies a little bit depending on which cabinet you're playing. This definitely looks tight to me. I will test this with 2 people. My guess is that's a little tight. You're going to be kind of standing off to the edge. I've always been okay with that. And I've never had an issue with the smaller arcade 1-ups for that reason. Because at the end of the day, the smaller cabinets, the more you can fit in. And I'm not just playing with 12 people all the time or like filling up a 4-player cab regularly. So not a big deal if it's, a little bit cramped for me, but your mileage may vary. 40-year-old gamer. You know what, man? I don't play my Legends Ultimate that much, but I shouldn't say I don't play it that much, but a lot of the games I don't play that much. I don't ever really take the time to push in the high score. I don't play enough of the games regularly to like be dominant in anything. I don't know, man. It's like when I play my Legends Ultimate, it's in my office, which is the room you're in right now. That's like my break time in the middle of the workday. So I'm not trying to just sit there and go ham on it. All right. Had a few other questions I wanted to get to. Yeah, so I mean, the big question user VC asked, and this was in my community post, is this thing worth $500? I can't tell. Well, it's $450 if you just get the topper. I can't tell you that yet, right? I'm gonna have to really mess around with it, and it's relative. But if you spend $500 on an arcade 1-up, how much better the build quality is here, and the fact that you get 50 games, then I don't know. Maybe it is. I mean, I don't like that the monitor shape isn't the exact 4x3. That's not optimal. Maybe it'd be nice if it was a little bit wider. But in terms of value, I think you're gonna have a really hard time criticizing this product for $450 or $500 if you want the pedestal under it. I mean, it's just hard to argue with 50 games. And somebody wanted to know what Ralph leave behind the box. So I can't tell you that. I didn't get Ralph's box. So right now, is it a buy for you? So that's a good question. I don't know. I'm gonna have to spend more time with it. I suspect yes, because I mean the look and the feel of it is pretty authentic. Even if the monitor isn't perfect, it is a nice looking screen. The back. So one of the things I always look for in an LCD screen is the backlighting even. A really cheap LCD screen, the backlight is going to be uneven. You're going to see shadowing and stuff. I'm not seeing that on this monitor. It's a nice quality monitor. Even if the audio is not quite there, I'd probably sacrifice personally on audio before I'd sacrifice on picture quality. The marquee is gorgeous. And then the fact that it's got that Monster Games list. I probably, yeah, my answer would be probably yes, this is a buy for me. But, you know, again, might as well spend a few more days with it and really figure that out. Does the coin slot press in? No, it doesn't. And if you look, they're way too small. They look real. I don't know how much the camera's picking it up. They do look real, like you can't press them in, but you can't. Now the coin slot that's going to be on the pedestal is much larger, but I don't think you can press that in either. I was told it's sort of inanimate, but it looks legit. Any light bleeds? So I mean, I don't know if you're asking about the marquee or the monitor. For the marquee, absolutely not. On the monitor, I'm not seeing any right now, but I'm looking at it from one angle. But I'm kind of looking at it from a wide angle, and that's another test of a cheap LCD is going to have really poor viewing angles. In other words, if you're not looking straight on, it's going to look like crap. It's going to be washed out. I don't really see that here. So I'm not seeing light bleed. I'm not seeing discoloration or unevenness. Looks pretty solid to me. Yeah, Daniel May, coin slots going as soon as I get the unit. Yeah, man, I hear you. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if I pry it off, does it look okay underneath of it? I think it's, well, actually, I don't know if it's glued on. I probably ask the company how it's connected and decide from there if I want to take that thing off. Yeah, Neo Turf Masters. I hear you. I'm told that's the better of the golf games that was available on the MVS. I don't know. I've not played any of them. I'm just excited that we got a little bit of variety, and it's not like the Fight Stick where it truly was just fighting games until you found out later you could unlock more games. I'll tell you guys what I think is exciting about this company, Unico. So one of the things that gets me hyped, let me move this camera a little bit. It's a lot easier when I'm just sitting at my desk, but then you don't get the arcade. I got the AC blowing, so don't worry about that. So these guys are new to the game, kind of, but they've played. I mean, obviously, they brought other stuff to market like that Fight Stick, which people were generally happy with. They're in the home arcade space. I was told a story about how they got into this space. I don't think I'm allowed to tell it. If I get permission, I'll definitely let you guys know. But man, it's an interesting story. And I think you guys would find it interesting too, being that you guys follow these products, right? It's a new player. They clearly take quality seriously. Certainly, this is not a perfect unit. I don't mean to say that. And I don't even know. This isn't going to satisfy someone that's anti-emulation and they only want hardware, that kind of thing. So setting that aside, comparing it to the other mini home arcade products, this thing is quality so far, I think. Let me spend some more time with it. I feel like a shill saying that, but I mean, you'll see it when you guys get your hands on this. You pick it up, you feel it. It feels solid. It feels substantial. That's good news. Like, that's going to get people to step their game up. I think this is most directly competing at Arcade 1UP. There's no question. At Games is for people that want a huge, almost full-size multicade, iArcade, mini multicade, where you buy your own games. This thing is more of an authentic recreation of an old school arcade. And that's what brought me to this segment to begin with. And that's what Arcade 1UP offered. It's why I became a fan of theirs so early on. Sometimes disappointed by their quality. Sometimes not too. Sometimes their quality is good, but they've definitely had some mistakes. So to get these guys in the game, this Unico company, I think we're going to see more from them in the future, provided this is successful, provided you guys end up liking this and going out and buying it. So to me, that's exciting. Do I have to send this to another YouTuber after my review? Yeah, I don't get to keep this, so I wish, but no. They don't have that many, so we're just circulating only 2 of them now. Originally, it was 1. I don't know who I'm sending it to yet, and I don't know how long I get with it, but I'm going to keep it for at least 2 to 3 days to spend time with it so I can get a good review. Yeah, comment in the chat from Zero Hedge. If it wasn't for Toy Shock, I think Arcade 1UP wouldn't do pinball. So it's interesting you bring up pinball because are we getting pinball this holiday? If you guys follow the FCC stuff, I've done a couple videos on FCC leaks. There are other YouTubers that do those videos too. You got to get any wireless device that you're going to sell in the United States registered with the FCC. I don't know how far in advance of selling it, but it's, from me glancing at history, it's a couple months. And they've not registered. The last thing Arcade One Up registered was the X-Men Street Fighter cabinet, which is Wi-Fi. They've not done that with pinball, and we know pinball is Wi-Fi. So I'm starting to wonder if pinball is going to slip for holiday. Honestly, I wouldn't mind it because I got a lot of crap to buy this holiday, and if they're going to bring it out in Q1, I'd be all right with that. Eminem. Hey man, you're in the same state as I am, so if you need a bulletproof vest, then we're probably all in trouble. Any last minute questions you guys have on this thing? Because these are just sort of my first impressions. I'm going to do a full review. Let me see if I can turn this around a little bit. Try to do it very carefully and not tear the upholstery on my chair or break this cabinet. So this is what it looks like from behind. Interestingly, that's the power. And I haven't seen if there's a way to power it in the front. Neo's C. Vera, you're going to have to ask me his questions again, man. We got a super chat from Zohar. As long as Unico doesn't make a Pac-Man, I'm Team Unico. Yeah, but you know who else might be in the business of making Namco games is ICE. Those guys, did a video on them. They're going to be doing home arcades that are more of a commercial grade, and they did have a Miss Pac-Man Galaga cabinet. Anyway, this is what the back looks like. Not much to it. So funny story, though, about this. So the other day, I posted a video on a few topics, and one of them was the blood update. So these guys called me and told me that they were doing a blood update, but they told me, don't tell anyone, right? Because sometimes you get that info, we're not allowed to share it out. But they're giving us a heads up. Well, and true to my word, I didn't share it, and I didn't want to make these guys look bad or infringe on their ability to announce stuff. Well, anyway, the next day they send out a company-wide email to people to sign up for their list saying, hey, we're doing blood, get hype. So I saw that and I said, all right, well, it's public now, so I better make a video on it. So I mentioned it in the video, and I get an angry call, or I don't know if it was an email or a call. I think it was a call. And the guy's like upset, or no, it was an email. The guy's upset that, I broke the seal on this. I told you guys blood's coming. No one was supposed to know. Well, it turns out he didn't know that a company-wide email was sent. It was just confusion, the usual stuff, right? These guys are scaling up. They're bringing a new product, so I don't blame him for any of that. But he was kind of hot under the collar about it, and I said, man, check your boy, because this was public info, and I reported on it. And I would have rather broke that news with my review. That was the original plan, but that guy sent the email out, and rest is history. It's all good. While playing a game, does pressing start plus select bring up anything? Yeah, let's see. No, it didn't do anything. Yeah, so Big Kid asked the question, do you think the future and a future update will include the full, and I apologize, I'm like weirdly out of frame on this. Trying to look at my monitor, include the full update. I don't know. I think they want to, but I don't know. There's nothing official to tell you guys. There's no announcement, but it's common sense that if they're going to sell this product, they're going to want to offer more games. And I wouldn't be surprised if they want to eventually charge us to expand the games, which, by the way, if they do that, I think would be totally fair, because it already comes with 50 games. So I wouldn't feel nickel and dimed buying more games. And I think that's 100% the future, that people are going to buy these cabinets, and then we're going to be asked to buy more games. The other thing to point out about the Neo Geo library is, do you mean all the SNK games? I think most of which are on here. Or do you mean the third-party games for the MVS? So that's two different things, and we don't know if we're going to get those, but I would certainly hope to. Yeah, comma. So if I said your name right, what do these digital numbers mean? Let me turn this bad boy off. All right. So basically these digital numbers, they just are a menu readout. So they're telling you which game you're looking at in a collection, and the right number, I believe, tells you how many games are in that collection. So it does something, but it doesn't do its original intended purpose of telling you how many credits, which I think is kind of goofy. Yeah, everyone says Windjammers is good. I've never played it. I feel like I'm missing out. I'll have to check that out. Well, all right, guys, I'm going to get some dinner. I appreciate y'all hanging with me. And yeah, keep your eyes out in a day or two. I'll have a full review. Got more questions, let me know. And I'll go back through some of the questions I wasn't able to answer today and make sure I get those for you in the full review. Thanks for watching. And I don't know. I'm excited. We'll see how this goes. Talk to you guys soon.